this video, we're going to discuss public forum debate and what makes public forum or PF debate different from other styles of debate. Public forum debate was originally called Ted Turner debate after the founder of CNN and the producer of a famous television show, a famous debating show called Crossfire, where famous politicians, writers, and personalities would debate major topics going on in American society and American politics. Ted Turner wanted to bring this type of debate to American high schools. Eventually, Ted Turner debate was changed to public forum debate, although the rules have remained fairly consistent over time. There's a couple basic rules to remember. Number one, every tournament has one set topic, as opposed to other styles of debate that might have different topics for every round or a variety of topics going on at the tournament. When you go to a PF tournament, you have just one topic to prepare for, and you're expected to do some preparation beforehand. Make sure that you've done that, and make sure that you've prepared for the right topic. A tournament about nuclear weapons means you have to prepare for debating nuclear weapons, not cats. Secondly, make sure that you are preparing for the pro and the con side of the resolution. Pro teams must prove the resolution true, while con teams must prove the resolution false. You do not get to choose these sides before the tournament begins, because those sides change every round. Sides in speaking order are decided by coin flip at the start of each round. So one round you might be debating for the pro side, another round you might be debating for the con side. One round you might be debating first, another round you might be debating second. Now, debate is a team event. It's a two-on-two event specifically, so you're going to need a partner. Right now, you might want to think about who you get along with, who you might want to work with for a full debate tournament. Who do you think is going to put in the work, the effort, and the dedication, and who do you think you might have some fun debating with? Now, debate is a speech event, and during these speeches, teams cannot interrupt each other. There's only one time, when debaters interrupt each other, potentially, and that is a time called crossfire, where each team gets to ask questions of each other. Otherwise, you must let your opponent speak. In fact, when you're speaking, it's advisable that you don't even address your opponents. Many debaters like to say, "You are wrong. Your arguments are incorrect for this reason." It's much better instead to address the judge specifically. Next, you must have evidence when you debate. And your evidence needs to have citations or references, and preferably good ones, as we'll discuss later. It's not enough to explain that your evidence comes from a Baidu search or from an entry from Wikipedia. You're going to need to be a little more specific than that. And lastly, you must respect your designated speaking times. If you're told you need to speak for 5 minutes, you can't speak for 5 minutes and 30 seconds. The standard is for you to get those 5 minutes and then maybe an extra 5 seconds to finish your sentence if the timer goes off and you haven't finished it yet. Now, debate can be broken down into a couple distinct parts. The first phase of any PF debate is called the constructive phase. During this time, each team gets 5 minutes to lay out their initial case to the judge of why their side is correct in the round. The first speaker on each team gets that opportunity. Those two speakers will then engage in a crossfire, where they can ask questions of each other designed to get at what their case is, where their case needs to be clarified, and maybe why their case might have some flaws. Following that, the second speakers come up for rebuttal speeches. Those rebuttal speeches will last 4 minutes. The second speaker on each team must now explain why their opponents are wrong, why what their opponents said in the constructive phase is incorrect. They then engage in a crossfire dedicated to clarify and critique those rebuttal speeches. Now, after this, the first two speakers return for summary speeches. These summary speeches are dedicated to one basic concept: defending your side, explaining why, despite these rebuttals, your side is still correct in the round. There is then a grand crossfire where all four teams will now ask questions of each other. All four speakers, excuse me. After that, the second speakers on each team will go up to deliver a final focus speech in which they will explain why, after this entire round is done, they have won the round. They have won the entire round, and that the judge should vote for them. Now, how do you do this? How do you win a public forum debate round? The short answer is if you have good content with good evidence, good arguments set up, and good refutation, you respond well to your opponents, you'll probably win. The long answer, naturally, is a little more complicated because really what you need to do is a little deeper. What you need to do is really crystallize the round. You need to be able to demonstrate to the judge that you are winning and that your arguments, that everything you've done in the debate is better than what your opponents have done. You need to be able to explain this in explicit terms to the judge. We'll, of course, explain all of this in later videos. Thank you.